dive to understand how we got here, what's happening now, and, well, what it could mean globally. We're using the latest reports, the freshest analysis.
And what's really striking, I think, is how this wasn't sudden. I mean, yes, the open warfare began now, but it feels like a very volatile situation just tipped over the edge.
Decades of tension, right?
Exactly. Decades. You've got the long shadow of Iran's nuclear program, with Israel saying for years, that Iran's aiming for weapons.
A constant point of friction.
A huge one. And then there's Iran's support for its proxies, Hezbollah up in Lebanon, Hamas, the Houthis down in Yemen. These aren't just allies, they're strategic assets, really, positioned for moments like this.
And let's be clear, Israel wasn't just watching. They have that history of covert actions, hitting Iranian nuclear sites, targeting scientists sometimes, trying to slow things down without a full-blown war.
Right, a shadow war, essentially.
So with all that simmering, what was the spark? What finally pushed it over the edge in June 2025?
It seems the trigger, the immediate one anyway, came in early June. Reports started surfacing that Iran had really ramped up its uranium enrichment, made significant progress, possibly quite quickly.
Closer to weapons grade.
That's how Israel saw it, yes. Yeah. A critical red line being crossed. It changed their whole calculation, it seems. So response. June 13th, preemptive airstrikes launched by Israel.
Targeting what specifically?
Key nuclear facilities near places like Natanz and Esfahan, but also military sites.
And how did they carry out these strikes?
Well, reports mention advanced jets, like the F-35s, the stealth fighters, plus cruise missiles, maybe from subs, maybe drones. And there's talk of cyber attacks, too.
Cyber attacks, so hitting infrastructure like power grids.
Potentially, yeah. Disrupting things on the ground beyond just the physical strikes. It was a coordinated effort.
Okay, so Israel strikes. How did Iran hit back? Because they did, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. Swiftly. They launched dozens of ballistic missiles, drones as well, aimed at major Israeli cities, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and military bases too.
Did Israel's defenses hold up? The Iron Dome, David's Sling?
We intercepted quite a few, yes. Those systems are designed for this. But the sheer number of projectiles Iran fired was significant. And critically, Iran made that threat about the Strait of Hormuz.
Blocking the strait, that's huge for global trade.
Massive. It's a direct choke point for oil. A serious escalation threat right there.
And this didn't stay contained between just Iran and Israel, did it? The ripple effects?
No, not at all. Almost immediately, you saw other players getting involved. Hezbollah in Lebanon started firing rockets into northern Israel.
Which Israel then responded to.
With artillery, yeah, and some limited ground activity reported. Right. So the northern front opened up. Then the Houthis in Yemen fired drones, apparently targeting Israeli ships down in the Red Sea.
Another key shipping lane.
Exactly. And then you had Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria hitting U.S. bases, Israeli-linked targets. Even Qatar and the UAE saw airspace and shipping disruptions. The fear of a wider war became very real, very fast.
And the immediate consequences, beyond the military actions.
Tragically, civilian casualties were reported pretty quickly in both Iran and Israel. Those numbers are still unclear, likely rising, and economically,
oil prices
shot up. Cross $110 a barrel almost instantly. That hits everyone, Higher fuel costs, transport costs, everything. Plus, air travel got shut down across parts of the region. Major disruption.
What about the big international players, the U.S., Russia, China?
Well, the UN called for de-escalation, but no ceasefire yet. The U.S. came out supporting Israel's right to self-defense, sent warships to the area, a clear signal.
And Russia, China.
Russia condemned Israel's strikes, but seems to be staying out militarily, for now. China urged calm, offered to mediate. Their big concern is obviously oil stability. It really raises the question of how long major powers can stay on the sidelines if this keeps going.
So, wrapping this up for now, what's the key takeaway for you listening? This is very much ongoing. The risk of it getting bigger is, well, incredibly high.
Yeah. The core threats are clear. Instability across the Middle East, a potential oil crisis deepening, the real danger of a full regional war, and of course, the human cost growing daily.
As you think about this, there seem to be maybe 3 broad ways this could go.
Right. Scenario 1, maybe it stays somewhat contained. Limited strikes, tit for tat. Eventually, maybe some kind of ceasefire is brokered. Controlled conflict, perhaps.
Scenario 2.
Full regional war. Hezbollah fully engages. The Strait of Hormuz is blocked. Maybe the U.S. gets drawn in further. Much wider conflict.
In the worst case.
Nuclear escalation. Either Iran pushes its program forward drastically in response, or Israel feels forced to take even more decisive action against it. The unthinkable, really.
So as this continues to unfold, reshaping the global landscape, what part of this deep dive stands out most to you? And what questions does it leave you with? Something to keep thinking about.